All right, welcome. This is Bad at Fighting Games presents One Punch Combo Episode 1, Drama and Announcements Galore. I'm Raisin B-Man, a guy who's having a great weekend. This is the new podcast, One Punch Combo. And with this, we'll be going over fighting game news and everything like that. And if you want to know more in detail about the who, what, why, why am I doing this and all that, we did an episode 0 that you can check out. It should still be in the Twitch archives, but if not, it's in the YouTube archives. And we have a lot to go over because I've been gathering news here for quite a while. Let's see. But first off, we're going to go through some news, and then we're going to go into some tournaments. But not too much tournament coverage. But yeah, it's no longer September, which was Twitch's nickname for September, where there were discounts for subbing, but that's definitely appreciated if you like what I'm doing in both my podcasts. Filler episode, anime and manga podcast, which will be showing up right after this one, pretty much. Definitely, you have a Prime Gaming subscription that's free, and it's given to you every month with your Amazon Prime subscription. So definitely would appreciate if you toss that my way. If you like what we're doing here. But yeah, so first we'll go into news, and then we will go into some tournaments. But yeah, it's been a lot of news because I've been gathering news for quite a while here. But let's get into it. First, let's go in with an ad. Alright, and so with our news section, Soul Calibur Without Borders 2020 raises over $2,500 for charity. That's a story that's brought to us by Jinx. Jinx, not League of Legends spelling, but Jinx with a G. Another story by Jinx. Dragon Ball Fighters. Players who rage quit will be banned for life. Don't seem to have the actual link for this, but let's see if we can just pop that into Google really quickly, get some more context. Oh no, that is the link. It just looks weird in this Google Doc here. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out, is this just ranked or what? So apparently this is just all online matches, period. Taking action against players who rage quit, banning those who frequently disconnect from entering online lobbies for a week, and then after that's over, the player continues to leave matches early, the next ban might instead be permanent. So it's definitely better for them to have something in place than not have anything in place. But yeah, I mean, it's not the first time we've heard for harsh punishments for rage quitters, including like a rage quitting hell. I know Dota 2 had one of those where if you were toxic or a rage quitter, then you would be paired with your own kind. Next up, another Jinx story. Capcom punishes Punk for toxic behavior by automatically sending him to losers bracket in the next Capcom Cup qualifier. So This kind of strikes me as odd. Obviously, Capcom is in control of everything, but if you want to ban someone, that's fine. And I've heard of players in various sports, they're not allowed to play a certain number of games or something like that, or they're fined. But this one seems kind of strange. Keeping with the Street Fighter theme, the next DLC fighter is Dan Hibiki. And this is starting with and we're going to be going over a broad swath of news. So apologies if I repeat myself here, but Dan is part of season 5. Akira from Rival Schools is part of season 5, and they're pretty much going to be updating until fall 2021. A lot of people assume that the game was dead or being sunsetted, especially after they tossed out that championship edition, like they do, where you sort of get the final big shiny edition, and that's it. Especially with fighting games, we've been, it used to be game of the year, but of course games don't really last a year now. You get something like that. Let's see. And so yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. And the rumors behind everything is we were supposed to really be moving on to Street Fighter 6 by now, and we'll sort of move into a little bit of news of why that may not have been, because of course there's rumors and everything. But apparently that wasn't going to work out, and especially with the coronavirus, they did a bit of a shift. Twitch bans former Smash player Nairo after allegations of sex with a minor. So if you really have not been paying attention to fighting game news for not necessarily, well, it's just starting October, but the past couple months, and up into and including Evo, there have been sexual allegations. Another wave of Me Too has spread, and this time it's really been going through the video game community, especially the Smash community. It's really a shame, but the issue is there's so many children, listening to Giant Bomb, and at these events there's alcohol, there's not really supervision, and unfortunately that's basically where a predator wants to be. And unfortunately, it sounds like there's reading a couple of these articles, and I'm not going to go into super huge detail because I'm sure the other more official sources and people who actually can speak with authority on this sort of thing can tell you about that. But reading a lot of these stories, there's a lot of grooming going on, which, if you're not familiar with that, is there's a person who is older or let's just say they're usually older, or they have some sort of power, and they take somebody who's naive or younger and take advantage of that. And unfortunately, this time it involved sexual actions. That being said, there's been some very good responses in terms of Evo and video games and companies and supporting the victims and these accusations, and hopefully getting these sick puppies out of there. I do not do much in person in fighting games, but especially since I think it was last year, somebody in Twitch chat threatened to shoot up Evo, and this was taken seriously because it became a news item, and they said they would be investigating it. And we actually saw that, and I can't remember what type of video game, but it was some sports video game where a competitor, I guess he lost and then came back and started shooting people. So, it's not out of the question. Point being in saying that, I was not all that excited about going to fighting game events. Just for reference. But yeah, so hopefully, we really gotta remove this sort of stuff at the core. Fighting games should be fun, and especially with Smash, you have a lot of kids interested in that. And I can't remember, I think it was I want to say it was the Coffee and Combos podcast. I think they suggested, no kids there, or maybe it was just a thread I was reading, but no kids there without supervision. And it's got to be actual parental supervision or guardian supervision, and not just the club manager or the player manager, because then I think you run into the same issues, unfortunately. Gongsun Lee announced and released on August 5th from Honor of Kings, sort of a mobile MOBA, a free DLC character in Samurai Showdown. Another Jinx story. Guilty Gear Strive confirmed for PS5 and PC as Arc System Works reveals 2 more characters, a returning character, Leo Whitefang, and a new character, Naogo Ryuki, who seems to be taking up either Slayer's spot or his mannerisms or some combination of the two. Moving on, we've got a number of stories from Event Hubs. Don't want to use them, but that's what we got to deal with, and that's why I'm here, sort of cutting through the chaff to present you the actual harvest. So Harada of Tekken fame, I'm surprised he's still doing a lot of talking because he actually is in charge of, I believe, the Tales series over at Namco Bandai and not just Tekken anymore. But of course, he was very vocal on Twitter before, and I'm sure people still want to hear from him and everything, and it's not like he's gone. But that brings us to this story where he says, for previous games and the they let top players dictate balance for games like Tekken 5, but ultimately he decided to make things less balanced for the sake of fun. So this is interesting because this is not the first time we heard this. I can't remember if it was a rumor or it was something that was actually proven or looked at, but I believe Ono of Street Fighter fame, who will be coming up in a later story, so a little bit of a tease there. With Street Fighter 4, I think it was Ultra. It was before Arcade Edition. Purposely made. I'm forgetting his name, but he's one of the twins. It made him more powerful so that there would be a sense of drama, sort of, in your movie, you have the underdog fighter and you have the champion, and there's drama created off of that. So this is not the first time we heard this, and if you didn't believe it that first time with Ono, it seems like, as Harada is telling us, it's true, I'm of the mind that I want a really balanced game because I don't know what character I want to play. And if my character sucks, then that sucks for me. Not that I give that up. I end up gravitating to low tier characters a lot for some reason. But it just really sucks. Marvel's Capcom 3, I go to Arthur. Arthur is absolute garbage tier unless you're a Japanese player who comes to America, beats everyone, and decides never to rematch and come back. Because Marvel's Capcom is part of a group of games that are called trash games in Japan. But I'm not him. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting to hear and for them to admit. And again, this is another huge news item if you haven't heard. Minecraft's Steve and Alex to release on October 13th, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And some other stuff was announced. I'd rather not cover Smash too much because there's plenty of Smash coverage and hype out there. But apparently Sakurai, who is known for overworking himself, had to redo every stage in order for the mine boy and the mine girl to actually work. So I don't know if that's a situation where Nintendo is trying to be perfectionist. Sakurai is overworking himself in order to fulfill the last wish of Iwata, or just really trying to submit that Microsoft-Nintendo friendship, or some combination of those. But interesting stuff. We've got a couple tier lists here, and I just might end up making a separate section with a timestamp for tier lists. Right, and we will be timestamping news and tournaments, just so that's out there. But yeah, Globku releases a Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 3.5 tier list. And we won't really, there's so much here, we're not going to go over it too much, but I would actually, tier lists are one of my favorite things, which for some reason some communities are really precious about, but it's good that they're out here and that we're seeing them. But yeah, it's interesting because I have not touched fighters in a while, and And season 3.5, the only rankings here we have are S plus down, and then there's S tier, A plus, and then A tier. So it sounds like I really haven't played since like season 1. Sounds like a lot of these changes and buffs, and of course they've really went from sort of being Marvel vs. Capcom to definitely being Marvel vs. Capcom, in the fact that they have 3 assists now and everything like that. Sounds like that really helped balance the game. But yeah, Gotenks and Jiren are supposed to be really good now. We have the most competitive Street Fighter V characters this season according to Capcom Pro Tour Online popularity and performance. Let's see. This I don't think this is in any sort of actual order. Yeah, unfortunately this isn't in any actual order, so I can't really give you a heads or tails of this. Okay, we do have some losers. No Alex, no Ed, no Lucia, no Gil, no Falk. Let's see, but let's move on from that. Go 1 shares another Dragon Ball FighterZ tier list. Sonic Fox butts in. That's very characteristic of those two and their relationship. Another Event Hubs, Caligostro. Caligostro. Yeah, I guess that would be that. Revealed for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus coming later this month during Arc Revo Japan Online. Virtual Fighter Cross Esports project announced by Sega, disappointing a lot of people who thought that Virtual Fighter would actually be coming back, but no, it's just some sort of esports thing. Jinx, we have some news from Jinx with a G. Rise Gaming Final Boss player tips and tricks featuring Chikamaru, Mix Squared 2, Dante, and more. Some tips there. Another Jinx story, Rambo will join Terminator and MK11 along with Rain and Melina, according to Datamine files. So Ed Boon is a pretty infamous troll when it comes to this sort of stuff. I remember back before Injustice 2 launched, he asked, would you rather have Red Hood, the character, or Red Hood, who is Joker, before he transformed into the Joker? And the answer there is pretty obvious, but Ed Boon likes to troll. You know, I've been out of the loop with a lot of fighting games, especially recently, but you know, none of these sound out of the question. Rain and Melina in particular, people moan and groan over them. Rain in particular, I think people were really hurt because I think he was in MK10 story mode or 11's or something. Anyway, that's that. And another Jinx story. Employees leaving Lab Zero Games as Skullgirl developer backtracks on agreement to quit. Mike Z, the lead designer on Skullgirls, has been accused of sexual misconduct multiple times, is refusing to resign from Lab Zero, which he previously said he would do because he told everyone, if you don't like it, you can quit, among other remarks that I don't know, which are probably much more stupid and ridiculous, which is kind of sad because Mike Z has been a force for good, or at least that's what we thought. That's what I thought. Apparently, that's not the truth. Let's just go through some stuff here. Mike Z creates an unsafe environment for everyone. Clear pattern of systematic abuse and lack of empathy. We have some Me Too stuff here with Mike Z saying the wrong thing to a fan. Lab Zero Games boardroom put him on paid administrative leave, setting their sights on removing Mike from the company entirely. So sounds like if he was not able to do this stuff without uh, some come uppance. Sensitive racial jokes. Well, he's really a ruin for me then. Following the death of George Floyd, yikes. So, sort of, getting to the bottom line here, the Skullgirls IP belongs to publisher Autumn Games, and I did end up backing the first Skullgirls, and it's a little bit sad because the whole thing was they did Skullgirls. They were going to do Indivisible. If that did well, then the publisher Autumn Games would look at Skullgirls 2. And if you paid attention to Skullgirls 1 and all that sort of stuff, they had a game plan for multiple games. I think it was like Skullgirls 1 through 3, but they ended up showing us a bunch of characters for the Kickstarter. It was actually Indiegogo, but of course we say Kickstarter, just meaning it as a generic term. But they showed us a number of characters, including basically end bosses, and said, go ahead and pick who you want to be DLC. Yeah. Let's see. Poof. And just taking a look at some of this stuff, and it's a bit of a shock to the system here. Hmm. Wow. Okay, I was trying to find more context here, but sort of blown away at the same time. Don't mean to leave the stream silent, definitely. Don't mean to do that. Yeah, I hate to be silent, but I guess I'm just a little bit taken here. Um, and this is also a site I may need to take a look at. Hmm. But in other news, I guess, just to keep it going, the Skullgirls community as a whole has disowned Mike Z, as has Lab Zero Games, and that comes into play with a different story here. Let's see. Okay, whoa. Okay, hopefully the stream didn't cut out there. Something went really weird. Let's see, but just I need to tag this site and let's move on. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, looks like the stream is fine. Let's check all the levels. Yep, okay. So it looks like everything's okay. All right. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 got some new Halloween costumes. Harada again. A lot of Tekken 7's online functionality wasn't initially a plan, but requests from players have changed with COVID-19. And again, on that note, and that story and this story we have from Event Hubs, Markman and Anakin, both Tekken figures, tested Tekken 7's new and improved rollback netcode. Arc Revo Online America 2020 final event in December canceled due to COVID-19. We had a bit of a NBA final teaser callback to a Marvelous Capcom 2. SNK brings rollback netcode to King of Fighters 2002 UM with a new beta, which could have implications for King of Fighters 15. As you may or may not know, fighting games, particularly Japanese fighting games, have a history of, I even saw a meme, avoiding rollback netcode when it seems that's what a lot of people want. I have not dabbled in enough, or even I don't even think I've played a rollback netcode game to say whether that's better or not. But if it is better, like people are saying, then yeah, let's go for it. Sony's Big in Japan sale on PS4 features great fighting game deals, including Street Fighter V Champion Edition, Upgrade Kit, and Samurai Showdown Neo Geo Collection. The Neo Geo Collection actually was free on Epic Store. I guess if you haven't grabbed that, it's not free anymore. Tekken 7 crosses 6 million copies sold worldwide as the series reaches over 50 million. New Guilty Gear Strive announcements and information coming on October 10th during special live stream event. Another tier list courtesy of Sonic Fox and on Dragon Ball FighterZ. Kirby Fighters 2 was stealth released, stealth dropped. Classic Mighty Morphin Baddie Scorpina announced as Power Rangers Battle for the Grid final Season 3 character. Samurai Showdown is coming to next-gen systems with the announcements of Xbox Series X version. It's kind of weird because you can upgrade your old games with various programs with both Sony and Microsoft, but I mean, that's better than nothing, I guess. And also, on the other hand, it seems like they really are, although the information's kind of weird, the information stream, they're not really giving a lot of information. they do seem to be happy to work on Samurai Showdown and keep working on it, which is kind of cool. Bilal and Season 2 update now available for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. We're not going to have a DC game without Superman or Batman. Ed Boon talks the Injustice roster selection, giving us potential locks for Injustice 3. I'm glad to hear we're going back to Injustice, but they are saying this Mortal Kombat's going to last a long time, so they might just keep going with this Mortal Kombat, open up Injustice 3 for the new systems or something like that. World-class Zangief player shares Street Fighter V Season 5 tier list, places Russian wrestler above Kami, Zeku, and Karin. So Zangief, I think he would. My Street Fighter V knowledge is really, really bad. I think he was good in for 5 minutes of the game. There was maybe half a season or a patch he was good, but he traditionally he struggled in this game. Rufelmonger, again, going back to Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's wonderful getting all these opinions and tier lists and everything like that. Rufelmonger talks about the 3.5 patch and the biggest winners and losers. JDCR creates an excellent competitive beginner's guide for Tekken 7 in a multi-part series. Most of these stories that I'm listing here are brought to us by Event Hubs, so you can check out JDCR's stuff if you like to, definitely. One of the best Fang players in the world reveals his Street Fighter V matchup chart for the villain. Kairi of Fighting EX Layer costume has been added for Ryu in Street Fighter V. It's interesting seeing that because Capcom hasn't really done much crossover stuff with its fighting games lately, besides Ryu and Smash. Whereas pretty much every other fighting game has been doing crossover stuff. It's even Samurai Showdown's getting in the mix. So who knows? Maybe Capcom's unclenching and we're going to get into this a little bit later, but Ono is no longer with the company, so maybe that's part of the change. I don't know. Leffen releases updated Super Smash Bros. Melee tier list following big online resurgence. Top Smash Bros. Melee player Hungrybox reveals how Jigglypuff matches up against the rest of the roster. DeBuzz releases his Min-Min matchup chart for SSB Ultimate. IDOM shares Lauren Poison matchup charts. Soul Calibur 6 version 2.25 patch notes have been released. Crossover, and actually I love this person's name because of course I thought they were talking about an actual crossover, but this is a person. Releases his latest Street Fighter V Champion Edition tier list. Sakurai needed permission from all IP owners involved in Smash for the ability to choose any song for certain stages. That's crazy. But that is what Smash Bros. Is. It's infinite work. King of Fighters Samurai Showdown, Garou, and the Last Blade games were available for free if you have Amazon Prime. I'm not sure if they're still available. That was more towards the beginning of last month, I guess it was. It would have been. Tachikawa released a Street Fighter V Champion Edition tier list with Zangief in his own rank. Again, I am loving all these tier lists. I was playing a lot of Samurai Showdown, and it felt like pulling teeth trying to get people to give impressions for characters and things like that and what the pros had to say. But here we are. Guilty Gear Strive developers want a game that leaves room for players' discoveries to exceed developer expectations. So me saying that isn't really saying much, especially if you've been paying attention to the series, but I wanted to put that story out there because I didn't realize this, but Guilty Gear, the devs are actually doing a series called the Developers Backyard series, so you should check that out if you like to. Dragon Ball FighterZ, top 100 ranked teams broken down by character reveals, and almost 40% of them have Ultra Instinct Goku on PC. So that's probably telling you something. Street Fighter 3 is receiving an awesome vinyl soundtrack set featuring records made to look like a Hadoken. So that's really cool. I was hoping that purchase would come with digital versions of the song, and I would go grab it. But yeah, it's up there for $80, and there's a normal vinyl version, because this is like a vinyl that's meant to look like and is colored like a Hadoken. But this one is not just the vinyl, which is nice. But I don't have a vinyl player, and I'm getting ready to move, so I don't need more junk. And again, going back to sort of the NetherRealm stuff and Ed Boon sort of being a troll, but also, you got to look forward. NetherRealm Job Studios point toward development for a next generation console, Mortal Kombat or Injustice title. Smug released current Street Fighter V tier list. Sakurai attempted to put something similar to Rollback Netcode in Super Smash Bros., but there were too many side effects. Hopefully whatever they end up doing is going to have less side effects, because it's absolutely unacceptable. That's a big reason of why I don't really fuck with Nintendo anymore, because their online is horrible. Starting today, Street Fighter V is one of the free games in September 2020 for PlayStation Plus subscribers. So obviously September's over, but put that out there. And while that might seem nice, you have a lot of characters that you are going to have to earn currency for and or pay for. But from what I've told, when they did free weekends, they did unlock the characters for, I guess, everybody. So maybe it's that sort of situation. But I can't imagine they're releasing the Champion Edition and they're going to give you all these characters and content for free. Sure, you can ended up reviewing the Power A wireless GameCube style controller, and they gave it a thumbs up for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now we're going to be getting into the news here. Let's go ahead and run an ad. Let's see. It says we have one viewer, but I can't see who they are, so they may not be logged in or whatever. But now is going to be a good time to remind you that you can subscribe. Amazon Prime equals Prime Gaming equals a free Prime Gaming subscription every month. And with that, I would appreciate if you give that to me. I am paid on Twitch, but not YouTube. So it's a bit of a tough situation where, of course, you can watch my videos after on YouTube, but Twitch is where I could be potentially earning money and everything like that. So it would be great to really have that support from everybody on Twitch, and that would really help me put more effort towards this, because I've started doing something where there's proprietary IP involved, so I can't really talk about it, but that's already more successful than me streaming. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and add a stream marker signifying that we're at the tournament section here. So we have the Soul Calibur Online Challenge, which is this weekend. So you can probably still... Oh, no, you can't. Nope, it's over. So that was on October 3rd. And again, just for reference, this is the first show, but I went over everything on the Zero show, the show before this, where we're not really going to go over tournaments, but I will mention them. The Street Fighter League Pro Japan results are out there and happen. Rise Final Boss Tournament. Let's see. That one is going to be on October 7th, so you can catch that. October 7th, 13 p.m. Pacific Time, 16 p.m. Eastern Time. But yeah, so that's upcoming. We have Japan Esports Grand Prix results, the Games and Wishes Autumn 2020 results, Street Fighter Japan Pro League preseason finals, Topanga League Across Tekken 7 Season 2, the results are up there. Capcom Pro Tour Online 2020 Southeast Asia 2 results. Tekken Online Challenge Korea results. Capcom Pro Tour Online East Europe and Middle East 2 results. Tekken Online Challenge Europe West results. And finally, Blink All-Star Challenge results. That last one, I believe, is more Mortal Kombat and things like that. But yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in, folks. We will be back monthly with another edition of One Punch Combo, the fighting game podcast where we go over news and bring up tournaments and everything like that for fighting games. I'm Raisin B-Man, and thanks for tuning in on Twitch. Stuff will be up on YouTube, but definitely appreciate Twitch support because that's where the potential money is right now. As always, thanks for tuning in.